Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. If you've watched this channel before, you'll know that we like the small guys. We like flyweights, bantamweights. We like all those fantastic fights that often get overlooked. And one of the fighters who kind of gets lost in the mix, but I've always thought was a pretty good operator, is a guy called Ricardo Sandoval. And if you're British, you'll remember Sandoval from a couple of years ago. It was 2021. He came over to Britain and he fought Jay Harris. And I want to say this was an eliminator for one of the titles. I can't remember which ruling body. But he knocked out Harris with hooks to the body in 8 rounds. And he's just a really good fighter, Sandoval. I really like what I see when I watch him. He's very exciting as well. Well, he took on Jerson Ortiz of, I think he's Nicaragua he comes from. Sandoval is from the US, but of Latin origins. And Jerson Ortiz came in with 17 wins and 6 defeats. Had never been stopped. And 29 years of age as opposed to 24 for Sandoval. And Ortiz, he loses to, he fights good guys. Like he fought Christopher Rosales. I think he was disqualified in that. He does have a reputation for being a dirty little so-and-so. He fought David Jimenez, lost in 10 rounds. So whenever he steps up, he kind of loses to the best, but gives him a tough old fight. But he didn't give Sandoval a tough fight, because Sandoval got rid of Jerson Ortiz in only 2 rounds, which I thought was a really impressive performance. And Sandoval before the fight said, I expect to go 10. Jerson Ortiz was, even though it only lasted about 5 minutes, I think 5.5 minutes, he was doing a bit of naughty work in there. Definitely the dark arts are something that Mr. Ortiz likes. Couple of rabbit punches thrown in here and there, pushes his head onto the guy, under the guy's chin, wrestles with him, but does some good work. He was thrown to the body, Ortiz was. He couldn't match Sandoval for skill, but he was trying to rough him up. So I thought this is developing into a nice little fight. Sandoval was clearly the faster, the slicker, was again working the body very well. He loves those body punches, which I always love to see in any fighter. And they were exchanging hooks to the body. It was noticeable that Sandoval's were more accurate, but Ortiz was right in the fight until about 2.5 minutes into the second round. There was an almighty left hook right to the floating rib. Ortiz goes down. He doesn't even look like he's getting up. The mouthpiece comes out. He's on all fours. He just can't move. He's paralysed. And he gets counted out. And it's the first stoppage of his career. First knockout of his career. And Sandoval looked good doing it, because he didn't panic when the dark arts were being put on him. He managed to remain composed. He's only 24, this kid. And again, he's an example of someone who's travelled a bit. You know, he's been to Britain. He's fought against the guy who was expected to beat him. He's got this baby-faced look about him, but don't think that for a second he hasn't got some spite to him, because he most certainly has. And I just think this kid deserves a shot. You know, he did win against Jay Harris. I'm sure that was some sort of eliminator, and he didn't get a title shot. He did lose on a majority decision to David Jimenez, Jimenez, I think at the time was undefeated, but has since lost to Artem Dalakin. But nevertheless, I mean, a majority decision loss to Jimenez, that's no disgrace. That's no disgrace at all. So come on, you know, give this kid a chance. I think he's a good little fighter. And if not, I mean, what about a fight with Bam or Sonny Edwards or someone like that? I mean, you know, this guy calls himself El Nino, and he, even though he's a quiet kid outside the ring, he does have a little bit of that about him. He is a bit of a hurricane, a little bit of a killer. But we'll see. You know, you don't always get what you deserve in life. You get what you negotiate, as Don King once famously said. So this fight was on a Golden Boy card. Go check it out. It's on DAZN if you want to have a look at it. But keep your eye on Ricardo Sandoval, good fighter. Thanks for your time, as always. If you're new to the channel, you could subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Job done. And leave your comments below. I always like reading your comments. And we'll speak again soon. Bye for now.